Hello and good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jasser Helmi. I am from the Forum Operations team, and I would like to welcome you all in our today's panel, using AI to advance engagement with open science policies and practices in the Arab world. Today we have Dr. Yrjo from Zayed University in UAE, Dr. Alia Muhammad from University of Dahuk in Iraq, and Dr. Rabab Al-Makhawi from Bahrain. Next slide, please. First of all, I would like to just run with you some quick housekeeping rules that we have the Zoom feature of the movable windows that allows us to move our window among the screen in case you would like to follow up with an email or you would like to check something while listening to us. And there's another feature, raise the hand. So if one of the speakers, if anyone is speaking a little bit fast or in a fast pace, you can always raise your hand so that we can slow it a little bit for all of our audience's convenience. And the third option, which is a chat room, feel free to engage with us as much as possible. Feel free to share your insights and your ideas with us. You're always welcome to introduce yourself and let us know where are you with us from. And the last feature, which is the question and answers Q&A section. We would like to ask you if you have any question related to the topic introduced by our panelists, please feel free to add it to the Q&A section to make sure that your question will be answered by the end of every session. Next slide, please. This is our program for the annual forum for this year, 2024. It is available in both languages, Arabic and English. Feel free to scan the QR code and it will direct you to the program where you can get to know which session is happening when, and we would love you to be with us. Next slide, please. And we also would like to thank our sponsors for this year, our sponsors who have been supporting us along our journey. We would like to thank them for their efforts and for being with us and for believing in our vision. Next slide, please. So without further ado, I will be leaving you now with the first topic for today, machine-aided translation and with Dr. Yrjo, I'm sorry, awakening institutional repositories, improving metadata and access with generative AI with Dr. Yrjo. Dr. Yrjo, you have the floor now. The mic is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction and good afternoon, everyone. This is Yrjo Lappalainen joining you from Dubai, UAE. And very happy to attend this Forum for Open Research once again, although only virtually this year. So my presentation will be about the use of AI in the context of institutional repositories. So I'm kind of combining two of my favorite topics here. And first, I will start by introducing our institutional repository. And then I will talk a little bit more about our AI efforts here at Zayed University. And finally, I will present some ways of using generative AI in this context. So the background is that we launched ZU Scholars, our institutional repository, back in 2021. So I'm sure all of you here are familiar with the concept of these repositories and how important they are for the academic community and how they help make research accessible and discoverable. But there are some usual issues with repositories, and especially these two. I'm sure you are familiar with this. So how to get content into the repository. So you know that it can be difficult to activate faculty and students to submit their works. Sometimes you have to be really creative and really try your best to get their attention. So organizations, they have come up with all kinds of strategies for populating these repositories. So, for example, open access mandates. So they make it mandatory to submit content, or library mediated self-archiving. So the library invites people to submit their manuscripts and then helps with the submissions. Then there's fully or partially automated content harvesting and integrations between different systems at the organization. And another issue is to how to streamline these workflows. So if everything is done manually, it can be very time-consuming and also very frustrating for everybody, and also prone to errors. But luckily, AI and automation can help us here in many ways. So Zayed University's approach has been partially automated. So we created this custom script, and we harvest content from many different sources like Scopus, Web of Science, Dimensions, and then we get the full text files from Unpaywall. So for all Creative Commons licensed articles, we also get the full text automatically. And we also include metadata-only records in the repository. So this way we can see everything that has been published, and then we can try to get the full text later. I think this is not probably that typical in repositories, but we chose this approach right from the beginning. And I'm running this script once or twice a month, and we are getting the metadata for around maybe 100 publications every month. And this has been a very successful strategy. So you can see some of the statistics here. So we have metadata for almost 7,000 publications, starting from the early days of our university. And then we have the full texts for over 1,600 files. So we have lots of full texts and also lots of downloads in these 3 years. So lots of traffic in the repository. Of course, there's lots of potential for growth as well. So I'm always looking for ways to make this even better. Obviously, we don't have infinite resources here in libraries. So for example, I'm managing this repository alone, and I have many other duties in the library. So this is just a small side business. But once again, AI and automation can really help us here. It can reduce the workload and also improve the quality of the contents. So moving on to AI, obviously we are in the middle of this major transformative change here. So I think ChatGPT took everyone by surprise when it was launched 2 years ago. So imagine that was less than 2 years ago, and how much has happened after that. I think generative AI is already changing education and research, libraries, customer service, marketing, pretty much anything and everything you can imagine. And the pace has been very unbelievable, and new things keep popping up every day. Of course, there's a lot of hype to it too. But this is not just like one company and one service. This is a completely new industry that just suddenly popped up. And I think this is still just the beginning. And here at Zayed University, we have been really excited about AI. So, and the library has actually taken a very important role in this. So when ChatGPT was launched, we immediately started experimenting with it. So we saw the potential in it. And we have developed this AI assistant called Yrjo. You can see Yrjo here. We generated this virtual identity for her as well. And she was actually the first fully reported library chatbot in the world using OpenAI API. And she's a very sophisticated chatbot. So we have given her access to these different tools like Google, Wikipedia, library catalog, library calendar, and so on. So we can integrate her to almost any library service. And we have done many other things regarding AI, like internal training. So immediately when ChatGPT was launched, we started training our librarians. We also did an AI guide. You can see it in this address. We have these different AI task forces at the university. We also organized an AI workshop series and all kinds of training sessions on AI. And we have integrated some AI components in our information literacy instruction. So for the past 2 years, our work has been revolving a lot around generative AI. So how do we combine repositories and AI? So there's many possibilities in this context, but unfortunately, very little time in this presentation, but I will do my best to present some ideas here. So we have already implemented some of these, but I'm also presenting some completely new ideas that we haven't even tried yet. But first of all, there are different ways to access this technology. So you don't necessarily need any programming skills or any technical skills to do any of these things. So you can just use the basic ChatGPT, or you can use some other large language model interface. So for example, Gemini or Claude or Mistral, they are all very good large language models. Then there's the custom GPTs. So if you don't have any programming skills, but you would like to develop something a little bit more complex, this is a good option for that. So it will do the programming in the back end, which is quite amazing in itself. And then, of course, if you know some programming, you can use the APIs and you can automate things and make it even more efficient. Okay, so I will present a couple of use cases for repositories, and these are metadata extraction and generation, self-archiving support, search help, research insights, and outreach. Okay, so starting from the generation. So, you know, the AI can read full text files, and it can generate metadata quite quickly and easily. So especially if the work is not indexed anywhere, like a presentation or student work, this can be really helpful. I will show you an example on the next slide soon. Also, it can generate keywords and classifications. So based on the title or the abstract or the full text or other information that is available. It can generate summaries, it can generate translations, and also these models, they are becoming multi-modal. So they can read other formats like images or audio files or even data or code. And then they can generate metadata for these as well. So here's a concrete example. So I uploaded this presentation that I'm giving you now, and I asked ChatGPT to generate the metadata. So this is not indexed anywhere. So it's only using the PowerPoint file to generate all of this. So here you can see we have the title, we have the author, we have the organization, we have the email, we have the conference name, and we have the conference date. And also the presentation, it didn't have any abstract. So it generated the abstract based on the PowerPoint slides. Then I also asked it to generate 5 keywords and 2 fields of science. And you can see that they are actually very relevant. So the keywords are here: generative AI, institutional repositories, metadata automation, content harvesting, open access. Very relevant. And also the fields library and information science and AI. And finally, I asked for a translation in Arabic, and the LLM also generated the translation. So all of this took a few seconds to generate. So we could easily do the same for student works, reports, even images, data sets, and so on. And with just a little bit of coding, you could easily automate the whole thing. Then the second use case, here you can actually see Aisha in action. So you can ask Aisha any questions about our library. And you can see that the answer is based on our data. So she's using ChatGPT, but also our data. And that is also known as retrieval augmented generation. So I asked how to submit my works in Zayed Scholars, and she gave me step-by-step instructions. Then we also connected Aisha to Sherpa Romeo. So you can get the open access policy for a specific journal. So you can search for the journal's name or the ISSN number. And you know, if you are working with these policies, you know these are sometimes a little bit difficult to read. But AI can actually explain them very easily. So, and you know, she never gets frustrated or bored. So you can ask her to explain it again, and she's very happy to do it. I think this is actually one of the first use cases where Aisha really outperforms us. So she's doing this much better than we are. And we are really happy about that. Okay, then the next use case is search help. So this is actually one of the most powerful use cases of these LLMs. So they can turn natural language questions into queries. So maybe you have tried Primo AI or Scopus AI or something similar. So this is how they work. You can ask the question in natural language, and then in the background, it turns it into a query. So this is a very simple example. So I asked Aisha what has been published on chatbots at Zayed University. So she knew to use Zayed Scholars because that is our repository and it has everything that we have published. And she used the term chatbot, and then she returned these results. And you can, Aisha can even see the abstracts. So you can ask more details about each work. Then I also asked for some alternative keywords. So here's a few examples. So you can, and then you can continue your search with these keywords. So this is really a piece of cake for AI. So it can really improve your searches, and it can even do searches on your behalf. Then moving on, research insights. So, you know, AI can easily explain the paper in simple terms, so it can help to popularize research. This can also be very useful for students, for example, if the topic is very complex. So, and another one is chatting with documents. So you can upload your paper, and then the AI can answer any questions about the paper. And that's quite revolutionary, actually, because it's doing it without any indexing or metadata. So suddenly you can just talk to any document, or or you can talk to any database. And also the LLMs, they are capable of doing even deeper analysis. So for example, they can analyze the sources. You can upload multiple papers and you can see how they cite each other and so on. So that is a little bit more experimental, but there's lots of potential here. And finally, probably the most obvious use case to use AI is in outreach. So it can help you write announcements and all kinds of instructions for the repository and other things in the library or your research systems. Also, it can create personalized messages like reminders. So this is something that I've been planning. So the system, it could check the publisher's policy, and then it would generate a personalized message to this author requesting this specific paper. So I think this could really increase the number of manuscripts in the repository. And then finally, the AI could also curate and highlight contents in the repository. So for example, something new or otherwise noteworthy. So this is something that would always be nice to have in almost any repository or website, but there's never enough resources to do it. So why don't we make the AI do this work for us? Okay, so these were just some ideas. This was a very, very short introduction to the topic. I'm sure you have many other ideas as well. I think the key takeaway here is that there are so many ways to improve repositories with generative AI. It can improve metadata, it can improve access, it can improve user support, basically anything and everything related to the repository. And in other words, it can help the submitter, it can help the librarian, it can help the searcher, it can help the promoter, and so much more. So I really encourage everyone to explore generative AI in your repositories and other research processes. And remember, you don't even need any coding expertise to do any of this, but you need to be ready to explore and experiment. And if you are interested in this topic, the Zayed University Library is always open for collaboration. So we would be really happy to collaborate, especially in the MENA region. And you can talk to Aisha in this address. I can also share this in the chat. And if you're interested in Aisha, here's a couple of articles that we have published recently. Okay. Thank you so much. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yrjo. Thank you. We would love really to thank you for such an amazing presentation. I mean, I like the idea of combination of the repositories and AI. And I am, for one, would really, really love to discuss further the translation part. I've read the translation and it seemed to be really good. Just, I would say a few comments, but it's still really, really good, more than any other AI I've seen before. And we have got a couple of questions. First one, are these selected journals for full text harvesting?
So the question is, are we using full texts?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, for Aisha, she's only using the title and the abstract. So we are not using the full text yet. Obviously, we could easily use openly available full texts. So the Creative Commons licensed article we could use, but so far we haven't done that yet.
Thank you. And we have another question from Basim, who's asking, is Aisha source code shared on GitHub or are they community driven?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Unfortunately, the code is not available. We need to maintain a little competitive advantage here. But if you are interested in the topic, I highly recommend that you take a look at the articles. And we are also very happy to meet you and very happy to discuss Aisha in more detail if you're interested.
Thank you so much for answering this. We have another couple of questions. One of them is, I'm from Oman Muscat University. Is it possible to do benchmarking with your library?
Yes, of course, it's always possible.
And
Please contact us.
yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay, so one last question here. Is it possible to have the kind of generative AI we see on Netflix, Amazon, and in our institutional repositories, whereby it suggests on its own similar titles or paper to what we are currently searching?
Yes, actually, that's a very good idea. So it could make recommendations based on something that you have searched. It could look for similar articles and then recommend those. So obviously, yes, it's possible, but we haven't tried that one yet. That's definitely something that we could also look into.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering the questions. Dear delegates and attendees, do you have any further questions to we ask to Dr. Yrjo? All right, then. Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you so much again.
Thank you
And
so much.
sure. And now it's our time for Alia Muhammad Hussein, who will be giving us presentation about machine-aided translation and post-editing, the need for open educational infrastructure in the Arab world. So,
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for having me today to take part in this impressive event, the third annual forum. My presentation is entitled Machine-Aided Translation and Post-Editing, the Need for Open Educational Infrastructure in the Arab World. Now, well, as you know, the digital revolution has drastically changed the translation landscape. And in the field of translation, machine-aided translation tools, which are also known as CAT tools, computer-assisted translation, they have enormous promise for increasing productivity and efficiency. So the translator can enter the source text into the CAT software and use the interface to divide it into phrases, sentences, or paragraphs, which are known as segments. There is also translation memory, which is a database that the software uses to keep each source segment together with its corresponding translation. So both the source text and the target text are aligned. So as the translator translates more content, the software will be capable of reusing more translation matches. And this kind of automation speeds up translation greatly and ensures consistency with earlier translations. So we can have a term base, which is translation glossary, and you can have also quality assurance functionality that when you finish the job of a translation or you are in the process of doing your translation, you have internal spell check. It helps to remove all kinds of errors in translation projects. CAT tools also help you to find missing text or tags, variations from accepted terminologies, and numeric mismatches. So this saves time and effort, increases productivity, and makes the end product even more efficient. Their efficient implementation in universities requires updated educational infrastructure in our countries. For example, I found a study in 2021 about the use of CAD tools in Saudi universities. The study found that CAD tools are not effectively integrated into the Saudi university's curricula, and this has led to limiting graduates' job market opportunities. So the universities were King Saud University, Princess Noor University, Imam Muhammad ibn Saud Islamic University, Prince Sultan University, and Saudi Electronic University. Now, this study highlights the fact that translation curricula in Iraqi universities have not been updated to incorporate machine-aided translation tools and post-editing abilities, which are essential for graduates to navigate the changing job market and stay competitive. So in this presentation, I will provide a tangible example of open infrastructure employment. So why did we attempted this updating of curricula in Duhok University? Well, in Duhok University, the Bologna process was implemented, of course, as far as my department is concerned, it was implemented in the translation department 2019-2020. Department of Translation, College of Languages, University of Duhok. So ever since its adoption of the Bologna process, the University of Duhok has constantly followed up curricular review and development. So it accordingly formed a committee that included representatives from all colleges for this purpose. In 2021, the university called upon our college, the College of Languages, which has 3 departments, the Department of Kurdish, the Department of English, and the Department of Translation, to prepare for a workshop on the curricula and market needs. So the workshop was organized, and it was entitled Best Matching Our Curricula with the Market Needs. It was attended by committees from the 3 departments in the college, and we also invited graduates in the workforce as full-timers and freelancers. At the end of the workshop, the departments were required to identify the necessary steps to make their curriculum meet the market needs. So as far as my translation is, my department is concerned, we identified a gap between the actual knowledge imparted to the students and the desired knowledge, skills, and attitudes needed in the digital transformation of the translation world and subsequently in the market of translation. And in fact, this is the very concept of training needs analysis it is concerned with. So what is needs analysis? It is a process in which the gap between the actual and the desired knowledge, skills, and attitudes in a job are identified. So I was mainly interested, like being a member of the scientific committee in the department, I studied the competencies that are mentioned in the Bologna process. And I was interested in digital competence in particular. So the ability to use technology like computers, the internet, and software effectively and competently for work and for communication. So what I did was that I created and executed a supplementary course in addition to the main course, which is Translation Project. In Translation Project, it is like a part of the requirements of students' graduation that each student is required to do a translation task. And then after finishing the translation task, a committee is formed in order to test the student translation project. So we found out that the credits given to this practical aspect of the system, they were not enough. So we tried to supplement this with a course called Machine-Aided Translation and Post-Editing in order to support the Bologna process in the first place, because this is the process that is applied or used or adopted by the University of The Hague and by our department. So we wanted to enhance higher education quality. So the aim was to prepare fourth-year students to use open infrastructure to improve translation workflows. When I started the course, I introduced my students to the concepts of neural machine translation and machine-aided translation. And I also introduced them to the concept of post-editing, because you know that some machine-aided translation tools, they offer integration with neural machine translation services. So we have to, like when we do the process of post-editing, there should be some guidelines in order to make the process of post-editing an academic and consistent process among the students. So I used the error typology of the Translation Automation User Society 2021. It was established in 2005 as a think tank with the goal of automating and innovating translation. So I explained the typology fully to the students, and then I also gave them samples of how to do post-editing from English and into English, so that they are aware of the concepts and they are aware of how these concepts should be practically applied. Because you know, in the error typology, there are many categories and many subcategories. Of course, they were also supported with examples, so the students can, when they apply the error typology to the process of post-editing, they are fully aware of the concept, of the examples that represent the concept, and they are aware also of how this concept be applied to real translation tasks. I also prepared a rubric for them to evaluate the outcome of post-editing in order to make the evaluation process well-guided. Afterwards, I divided them into groups. Each student within the group was required to prepare a 500-word report and a presentation on a CAD tool. And I also prepared a list of CAD tools I distributed that list among the groups. Each group, I asked each group to work on the tool and examine the potentials and limitations of the tool for the purpose of evaluation and recommendation. And I also, when they wrote their reports, I asked them questions about the report, especially the use of terms which are related to CAD tools. The tools included Basic CAD, Mate CAD, Omega T, and Vertal. When my students completed the course, and because this was introduced for the first time, so I thought that it is worthwhile considering the feedback of the students with regard to the course. So I made like a questionnaire for course evaluation, evaluating the performance of the teacher in the course, the course material used, and student self-assessment. So I wanted my students to assess my performance, the content of the material given to them, and I also asked them to assess themselves, to reflect on their performance in the course. So what I found was that the feedback was positive. So this indicated that open infrastructure was successfully integrated into the curriculum. And I also made the presentations competitive. So I chose the best team to present in another university. It was Nawaz University. It is a private university in Duhok, in the Kurdistan region. I wanted to spread the experience in other universities, and I wanted to encourage my students to not just to reflect on their experience, but to transfer their experience to other students so that they can benefit from it. And the implications that we can have from this case study is that the translation programs in the Arab world need to be regularly updated in order to employ open technology. We need to ensure that our graduates have the skills they need to thrive in the digital age by implementing open infrastructure. Because usually there is a gap between the skills that we give to our students in the protective classroom environment and the kind of skills needed when those graduates are actually working in the market. So in order to bridge this gap, we need to update and upgrade our translation programs. So machine aid translation tools, they are an example of open infrastructure. We use this study to show that they can be integrated into translation instruction. In addition to the skills of post-editing, and it hopefully serves as a model for employing open educational resources throughout the Arab world. Well, this was about all. Sorry, I have a problem navigating my slides. So these are the references. And again, thank you for the third annual forum for having me today. And thank you for the organizers, the moderators, and for the listeners. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Alia, for this
You're
amazing.
most welcome.
I mean, I am a translator, and I am proud that people are really working to enhance the translation processes among people who really need it. especially nowadays, we would find a lot of I would say issues that is facing facing many translators from the Arab world, especially. So I'm glad that we have initiatives. I'm glad that we have people who are actually looking to enhance this. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So, dear delegates and attendees, would you like to ask any question? So feel free to use the Q&A section for any questions. Thank you so much again, Dr. Alia.
Thank you.
All right, so now we have Dr. Rabab Al-Mokhawi and her presentation, Testing and Exploring How the Use of AI Tools and Technology Inventions Could Widen and Facilitate Open Access Arabic Research Collaboration in MENA, Higher Education. Bahrain is an example. So the floor is yours now, Dr. Rabab.
So shall I just, I don't know if you introduced myself, Mr. Jasser, already, because I was not joining. So hello everybody, colleagues and guests. Welcome to this third forum. Very happy to join, like after also participating in the first in Cairo, the second in Abu Dhabi, and this is the third. My name is Dr. Rabab Al-Mugawi from Bahrain, and I am the Arabic language program coordinator and English language lecturer at the University Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland. It's the Medical University of Bahrain. And we are here exploring and testing, and I'm bringing to you here lots of boxes from Bahrain. They are all AI tools and inventions for supporting Arabic language research in MENA region. So your slogan this time is very attractive, like having or transforming knowledge into tangible actions. And we are here to try our best to have some tangible solutions. So here I'm presenting. Yeah, thank God we are in person and online as well with you. So during like the COVID, like the birth of the new term, which is AI, is not something new. It has a long history actually, but like different terms and different things. But we're talking about the new term or the new, word, which is artificial intelligence, emerged like a few years ago, like from the COVID onwards. So it was a confusing term first, like it has also like different different meanings. And this level of clarity was not like in understanding the meaning of AI differs from one region to another. Like each region has like different definition for such a term. And also not only from one region to another, even like the fields of study, let's say, like in higher education is different, in medicine, in industry, in technology, in tourism. It's all like different use and different also meaning and explanation. And as well as like, if we will take like the government and the private sector, they are also differ. So with the emergence of the COVID-19, the artificial intelligence increased, the need of it like increased, the name of it, but the use, of course, not all people were like aware of what is it exactly, what are the things that they can entitle it as like AI, because sometimes even if they use like certain tools or apps and they can say here, for example, like we generated things like through AI, and it is like something, for example, let's say here a normal educational technology tool shouldn't be like categorized as artificial intelligence. So in this paper, we're trying like to limit the focus on higher education context, research, Arabic language research, and trying like to find like ways to raise the visibility, credibility of Arabic language research. I have like a pilot study that I conducted. I will just also refer to through the slides. And I'm just reflecting on my practices and also sharing with you the tools or the certain solutions that are like in the market, but they need to be like visible. They need to be, we need to know them, be familiar with them, how to use them, and how to use them here to make Arabic language research internationally recognized. So try to move on. I mean, like in this term, like to raise the visibility of Arabic language research, there are different, like, let's say here, strategies that we just like follow. We should follow, like in all organizations, consider, I mean, including higher education or any other research-based organizations. First of all, like AI-powered research dissemination platforms, we should have these things in Arabic that support Arabic language. And in previous like papers, we highlighted like the problem on limitation of most of these like research platforms. They don't have Arabic language as an option, or if they have Arabic, still with limited features. But nowadays there are some trials and there are some, let's say here, initiatives, lots of initiatives. I just like attended the, I mean, like 2 weeks ago. It was the 10th International Arabic Language Conference held in Dubai. And it had like more than 2,000 like attendees and participants. So it was very huge and like in all areas of Arabic language, not Arabic as a language itself, like with the skills, but it was also covering these like research things and AI inventions. And I was astonished like to find lots of initiatives all around the world. People are trying to make Arabic language research visible, but because they are working separately in isolated places, and so nobody's like know about them. They are like invisible. So we would like to take their hand here and also try to join them all together, all of these minds, and melt them in one pot, so we can have like a produce, of course, brilliant work. As well as we need automated indexing. And this is, of course, we need the experts in AI algorithms to ensure Arabic language research papers and articles are indexed in high impacted factor, for example, databases or platforms, and they can be equal to the international research papers level. Also, we can go for recommendation system. Develop recommendation engines for academic platforms that suggest Arabic language or Arabic research to users based on their interest, helping to increase their visibility. Another also technique should be focusing on the natural language processing, which is the NLP tools, but in Arabic. Translation and localization of Arabic language, this is also a key thing and very important. Creating robust translation tools that convert Arabic research into multiple languages so it can be visible to a wider or a broader I mean, like a space of researchers and scholars all over the world with their own languages. So they will be connected together with the Arabic scholars. So there will not be like language barrier that will prevent them to collaborate together. Citation analysis, utilizing the NLP to analyze citation patterns and highlight also impactful Arabic research, helping authors understand their influence in the global academic community, how they are ranked, for example, how the competition, I mean, like between them, they can see here, for example, in which level and which rank they are internationally, not only locally. As well as we need like social media and online sharing, we need like marketing. So content generation using AI to generate engaging like summaries and visually appealing infographics of Arabic research findings that can be shared on social media because it is only in certain platforms. Sometimes it's only like purely in Arabic language. Very, very like deep research, well-structured work, distinguished work actually, but it doesn't here go to the international level. That's why it's behind. targeted campaigns and leverage AI algorithms. And we said here we need experts in the field to analyze social media trends and user behavior, targeting specific demographic for promoting Arabic research outputs. We need here to enhance also search algorithm, as we said, semantic search, and keyword optimization, apply like machine learning techniques to identify effective keywords and phrases commonly used in Arabic search. Community building, like building research community, trying to break these like language barriers. So we provide here, for example, the let's say here the translation services to those research collaborators from all over the world, so they can collaborate with Arab researchers who are just like speaking, let's say here, like monolingual, just speaking their own language, which is the mother tongue, the Arabic language, not any other languages, so they can't communicate. So if there is a service then of these like translation in all events and even in collaboration, then that will be great. And I will refer to some translation tools later on. AI-driven networking, creating like platforms or communities that facilitate connections between Arabic researchers and global collaborators, fostering joint research efforts and enhancing visibility. Also, providing the feedback, use AI to gather and analyze feedback from researchers regarding their experiences, dissemination, for example, publication in Arabic language research, so they can also show their work, showcase. Publishing in high-impact journals, and this is what Arabic scholars, they need here to have. They need to have these like secure places where they can disseminate or publish their own work and have their work to be ranked like in a very high level. So we have AI analysis for journal selection, using AI tools to analyze the suitability of various academic journals for submitting Arabic research, to help them here, for example, like choose the best journals like to publish in, helping researchers choose high impact platforms to enhance visibility, collaboration with the journals themselves, encourage collaboration between Arabic scholars and international journals to ensure that research is published. And I'm like by last conference or last forum, the second forum that was held in Abu Dhabi, I met also with some people in some like publishing places, and we were like also in connect with them and to find here, we're discussing here to find some ways and some solutions to make the Arabic language research more visible. For example, we were discussing the idea of having these like, for example, submitted work, which is in like purely like in English, to have at least, I mean, like the abstract done like in Arabic. So those Arabic scholars who speaks only one language, only Arabic, they can, I mean, when they search, they can get the benefit of having these translated to their own language, at least the abstract. So if they like certain, let's say here, journal or article, then they can like buy paying like at least reasonable fees, or it could be sometimes supported by certain places. In some like countries, they can like fund it and they can have it for free. Other countries, they can charge like at least like very, very reasonable price, so they can have the full paper translated in their own language. So at least here, something like to help them collaborate and get benefit from other, I mean, research work internationally and not to be behind. So we need to have like open access also Arabic language research, and we need also to promote open access publishing. And I would like, I mean, from this stage to thank the Knowledge E and the Forum for Open Access Research in MENA for supporting this topic, which is here enhancing the visibility and credibility of Arabic language research. And they have lots of, I'm very happy that every year they have this theme which support Arabic language research. At the same time, there were like some initiatives and some projects, such as the Arabic glossary for open access common terms, which is really, I mean, like a good achievement, or let's say here, I mean, milestone that we need to celebrate altogether. Utilizing altmetric tools powered by AI to monitor and promote the impact of Arabic research through social media mentions, like downloads and other engagement metrics, even like WhatsApp things, for example, these things that are available within most of, let's say here, people like around the world. We can use it like to support at least those researchers, because not all of them can, let's say here, buy some licenses of these tools, even if it is like with a little price, like others they can't afford. So it should be open access and should be available to wider and larger community, especially in the developing countries, and especially with this era. To conclude this part, not the final conclusion. By leveraging our AI technologies across multiple platforms and strategies, researchers can also enhance the visibility of Arabic language research. This is as, to sum up, collaboration among academic institutions. This is what we need. Also researchers' efforts, like by presenting these and sharing these problems, for example, or sharing certain initiatives, even like small initiatives can do. If we share it in such like events, then of course that can be helpful. Some people like in authority, those people who can, I mean, like take it as a project, for example, adopt it and can fund it or support it. These ideas, I mean, can come to life. As well as here, we talked about collaborative platforms, also data mining. What do we mean by this? Like using AI-powered data mining techniques to identify trends and patterns in Arabic language research, helping researchers stay updated on the latest development in their field. So they will be always updated about what is happening, let's say, internationally. Automated research tools, develop AI-powered tools that automate certain aspects of research process, such as like literature review, at least like going to higher level of, let's say, Arabic language research support, reaching the citation, the literature review, for example, help data analysis, helping researchers to save their time, and so they can focus on more critical tasks better than, I mean, like in other countries or in other languages, they have these things. Let's say, for example, the SPSS. The SPSS is saving lots of people time for the data analysis. For the quantitative, especially the quantitative research. So why don't we have the same, for example, like in Arabic language? So it can save lots of efforts. Most of them are doing the analysis manually still. And you can imagine how much time they need. As well as there is something that I would like to focus on, not only the tools that we are, let's say, created or use or explore and test, because we're like trying, I mean, like through this like pilot study, I tried like different things. I have the medical, because it's a medical institution, so we have the medical Arabic or medical translation, and we need it here to support the non-Arabic speaking medical doctors, like in practice, when they communicate with Arab patients. So we need to facilitate this, or to have this, let's say here, service to these students so they can cope with the practice. So through that time also was just trying like to either sometime like I get like the support from the institution. Sometimes if I don't get the support, I take like the minimum, let's say, I purchase like the licenses myself, but just like take the personal one not the one that is here at the institutional level or so I just like take it and test it and see. Some of them are free, which is really good. And we are also, we used like some of them, the free one or the free trial. Some of them, they have a free trial like for 1 month, which is good, not 1 week. We have to ensure something like within these tools, they are good in some, I mean, like to some extent, at least saving things or covering certain issues that we are struggling with. But they lack the cultural aspects. They lack this one. I mean, like the cultural and also the let's say here the part of the human things, like the feeling, the cultural aspect should be very. I mean, like it should be addressed in these like tools, and there should be some language and cultural experts as well in the era or in the time of developing or using such tools, so they can ensure having no cultural problems or confusion. So if we say here we have like tools, also we need like language training or these like AI tool training. We need to provide people not only to present to them the tools, so they need the training. Sometimes like the online training, like self-training, I know that, I mean, like at the institution level or even like the group level, departmental level, we can't sometimes accommodate the professional training for everybody at their time or something that matches their schedule. So the suggestion can be like self-training where they can just log in and do the like they have videos, they have everything, like how to use it. And then at least they can take the basics of how to use AI or to deal with AI tools and how to accommodate them and you apply them in their work or for research purposes. So localization, of course, here it is like adapting AI tools that fit with local cultural norms and preferences, ensuring that translations are not only like word-to-word translation, but it also takes the culture in consideration. Ethical consideration, it goes with the cultural aspects. If we are not aware about the culture, we may have some ethical problems. And by focusing on dialects, if we talk about Arabic language, and if we say, for example, like generative AI or using these tools and programming them using a certain Arabic language. What Arabic language do we mean? Do we mean the modern standard Arabic, which is the mean of communication between all Arab? And not only Arab, even those who are non-Arab, but they know Arabic, like they studied Arabic, or they are specialized in Arabic language, or they are in a level of like they study Arabic to a certain level, for example. So how they can communicate by using the modern standard Arabic. If we focus on dialects or slangs, that will be very difficult to us, because even in one region, one area, like for example, like my own country, Bahrain, as an example. Bahrain is very small, but we have here villages and small villages and towns. Between villages and towns, these small ones with a very small or short distance, the dialect or the accent is different. It differs. So we can't, like, if we program or generate such tools, we can't like program them using like covering all of these dialect, like the whole word Arabic dialect. But sticking to the first, for example, to the modern Arabic language will be great. If it is something, a tool that you wanted to use it like for certain, let's say here countries, like for example, Egyptian Arabic, let's say. So we can have the modern, local, the modern Arabic language, plus the local Egyptian slang. Okay, so it can help the people who are like in Egypt, the local citizen, and also those people who settled down like in Egypt, or they know the Egyptian accent and they understand it. So it has like a group like this. Okay, so it depends on the purpose, like when you design such a thing. From this stage, and I would like to have a call for collaborative MENA project from Forum 2024. So the idea of having parallel groups, once we have any AI tool to help the visibility and accessibility of Arabic language research or any other research in any language, we need to have a group of a human knowledge. We can't exclude the human, although the AI is like advanced, but it is done through the human. It is fed by the human being. The more or the better food that you give it, the better product it will give you. So try to feed it well. And so you have here the human knowledge versus the AI machine generators. Another group will be the technicians, like the technical group, the human AI technical experts versus the technical machine technicians. As well as we need the human language professional reviewers. Like after the work done, we need those reviewers to ensure that we don't have problems, we don't have issues, we don't have mistakes. Like at the language level, we check usually, like I'm a linguist, so we check like vocabulary, the terms, are they common? Are they, for example, are they old terms? People are not anymore like using them. Language accuracy, the structure, the content, the culture, everything. Okay, and we need also the versus this one, the AI automatic reviewers, so we can have both sides. So these are groups should work together. So we can't rely on one only, like only the human 100% or only, and we ignore the AI. No, we should face this era. It's the era of technology. It's okay, but the human is the core, so that's why we can't exclude the human. Everything will be created by the human. The AI is here to help the human to improve, not to replace the human being. And as well as I'm trying like to propose a framework. And of course, this framework cannot be formed without you. You have here better, of course, here things and views could be than myself. I'm just like giving hints and ideas, and perhaps you have like better ideas than myself. So I recommend creating action working stations for sustainable Arabic research, enhancement, visibility, credibility, and accessibility at the international, to get to the international recognition, initiated and adapted by, we hope that the forum can take it as an initiative. The Forum for Open Access Research in MENA, management and directors, led by a group of international experts. You can be like these attendees, these researchers who are presenting or attending, they can be like a group of experts. And we have lots of experts. I discovered that like through all my participations, or even like participation level, attendance level, I saw lots of minds, like bright minds, and lots of initiatives and projects, distinguished projects. But we need like to take these like experts, put them all together in working stations to make here the logo of this year forum comes to true, like putting things into transforming those things like into actions, real action, tangible actions. And I talked about the pilot study. And I was here, I'm like conducting a study when I talked about the medical interpretation. It was just like as an example. It can be like done for any other purposes, because the translation and language, it will be part of the AI in any field. The language and the communication, or the language model, should be there, should be created. So I was conducting like a pilot study with my senior cycle medical student. Her name is Miss Qatar National. She's the last year student. She will graduate this semester. And we were also presenting together in the last 10th Arabic language conference in Dubai. So it was a comparative studies. We took these tools like available. Some of them are free, some of them just like little charge. And some of them we took like the trial things, and just like to find out if they work for the translation. Well, I'll see if it work here, if I can open it. Yeah, it works. I don't know if you can see it. If can one, for example, can anybody like confirm if you can see the document? Mr. Jasser, if you can tell us, you can see.
Yeah, I can see the title referred to a previous study I conducted.
Can you see the like a Word document thing, Google document?
Yeah, there is a link. There is a hyperlink, but there's nothing tangible that
It's
we
not
can.
shared. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not shown. I'll just give a brief if it is not shown, like not to waste your time. Although I just like wanted to show you. Perhaps we can share the screen. We can share the screen and show them. Yeah. So can you confirm, Mr. Jasser, can you see the Google document?
Yes, it is there.
Good, yeah. I'll just show you here the examples, at least here the categories of the comparative study. So it's a small study. We have here the tools like identified. We give a brief description about them, the advantages of using it like for translation, interpretation, or communication things. What are the limitations for using this tool? And here like efficiency in terms of saving time and being cost effective. Sometimes they are like, for example, the cost is too much or it is like for free or reasonable. The result of the trial experiment, utilization of resources in poor countries as well. Like what are other options like instead of this tool that we can use, as I told you here, for example, like like WhatsApp things, like people are using also WhatsApp group to create or to share, let's say here, the research collaborative work, as well as those who have, for example, from their work like Teams accounts. We have like sub-channels or main channels, main research channel. You can create research channels, you can save documents, share documents, and resources and links and so on. And you can meet from that platform as well. So here is the summarizing thing. I'll just scroll down quickly, not going like in details, but trying here to, if we can scroll down. Just to show them just quickly. I'm not gonna read it, but just like showing you here how it is done. Even like examples, we are giving like certain examples how they are generated and finding the limitations, like even in translation, if you put like chunks of, let's say here a long text, we discovered that if you put like a full text, first you have a good translation, but if you go to the end, like the last paragraphs, you will find here broken language translation doesn't match with what you want. So you have to, here we need the human reviewer. You need to review the work. It's okay, use the AI tool and then review it. We need these reviewers to ensure that it gives you like the exact purpose or the exact work. So don't rely like 100% in everything and just like sit and watch a movie and eat popcorn, yeah? Here we are.
Sure,
Mr.
thank you so
Jafar,
much.
2 minutes, inshallah. These are just like to save your time. Some tools we're using, as I told you here, also it can be used through the WhatsApp things or the mobile. It can be. It's Arabot, and this is also a chatbot app. Okay, it has like WhatsApp automation, ready templates, and also it accommodates like 100+ languages, including Arabic, which is good. There is another one which I purchased like a license, and it is called Designer. And this one, like a flip book or an ebook, digital book, you can create these books and then you can edit them the way you like, but you can make them very interactive and you can also easy like to publish the book. But of course, you found like a good place here to publish the book after editing it, but it will help you a lot. And this can be like good for Arabic language, for example, let's say here, editing books, writing chapters, AI writer, also another tool. Going here quickly, Mr. Jasser is chasing me and I have here something. If you know the Grammarly, I'm sure like most of you know it and use it at work or whatever. It is like you have the free one and you have the other license, which is more advanced. So this is similar, but in Arabic, and it is called qalam. Qalam in Arabic is the pen or the pencil, which means the tool for writing. Yeah. So it has this feature, checking grammar, not only grammar, paraphrasing, tashkil, which is the short vowels, like showing the sound of the Arabic. And it gives analysis and also English checker. This is a selection. You can take this link. It goes here and shows you 70 top AI writing tools for Arabic language. And it has all of these features, like you can use them for all of these purposes I am posting. So it can be also helpful for like when you write like a research and you want like to share it with other scholars from different parts of the world with other languages. And here, of course, this is a question I left. This is the conclusion, Mr. Jasser.
Okay.
I'm leaving this for the audience and for you, Mr. Jasser. I'm targeting you. So are we reaching a level in which we feel confident and satisfied about the available inventions of AI tools that support Arabic language research, visibility, credibility, accessibility internationally, and the research collaboration facilitation between Arab and non-Arab research and researchers and scholars collaboration? So these are the networking. Ask yourself and see, do we need more efforts? Do we need to push ourselves like more? Mr. Jasser, what do you think? So I'm putting you here in focus. And thank you so much for listening. Thanks a lot.
Dr.
And that
Rawab,
is the forum logo.
really, thank you so much for such a very nice presentation. I mean, I, for one, I love and I'm a big fan of your speeches and how you present language in the way that it should always be. You know, I am a
Thank you so
translator.
much.
And I agree with you with many points you have mentioned, especially the part where you are asking every translator and everyone to just make sure of the translated text if he or she or if anybody is using AI for translation. It should not be just taken for granted. You are 100% right. This is a human touch that we should work on. Yeah. So
You should feed it well, yeah?
yeah, I mean,
Healthy food.
I would never ask you to to take care of the timing. I liked listening to you, and I'm sure that all of our attendees or of our delegates are very happily listening to you. I can see the interaction through the chat box and the reactions. People like, yeah, thank you so much. And I would ask our delegates and our attendees if they have any question to ask Dr. Rabab. I am 100% sure she will never be saving efforts to share the knowledge. So yeah, we are here with you. And thank you so much again, Dr. Rabab, for
Thank you for the whole organization. I'm thanking also the girls in here next to me, Miss Joy, yeah, and the other girl, Majd,
Majd.
and Miss Majd, yeah, and all the whole team actually. I can't like mention them all, but all of them, including you yourself and our guests and attendees and participants, all of you, thank you so much. We are also learning from you, and without you, we can't do anything.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rabab. So, dear delegates and attendees, thank you so much for attending this panel. And please feel free to scan the QR code you have on the screen right now to share with us your survey, to share us your points and your suggestions if you have any. We would really love to listen and to hear from you. And to those people who are with us here in Doha today, we are having a tour in the Islamic Mosque of the Educational City. You are welcome to come and we will see you soon.